What if the empty seat beside you on a crowded flight isn't just available space, but a calculated void designed to isolate you from help? And the only way to survive 30,000 feet of manufactured vulnerability is to stop trusting the itinerary and start reading the silence between the passengers. In The Last Seat, Jenifer Ruff delivers a claustrophobic thriller that transforms the transit suspense trope into a searing exploration of institutional betrayal, proving that in environments engineered for passive compliance, awareness is the only true carry-on. This isn't merely another airplane mystery with turbulent twists. It's a psychologically precise narrative where every seatbelt sign feels like both warning and weapon. Consent to safety is negotiated through hypervigilance rather than assumed security, and survival requires honoring your intuition when protocol demands obedience. From the first cabin pressure narration, listeners are trapped in a metal tube where privacy is illusion and proximity is threat. Perfect for fans of high-stakes confined-space suspense and stories where female agency thrives within systemic constraint, this audiobook serves up relentless atmospheric dread, unflinching emotional honesty, and a protagonist whose journey from compliant passenger to sovereign survivor resonates with anyone who's ever felt unsafe in a space designed to feel secure. When intelligence analyst Mara Chen boards a red-eye flight home after testifying against her agency's corrupt director, she expects routine transit, not to discover her assigned seat is the only one left in a deliberately overbooked cabin, and the stranger beside her carries credentials that shouldn't exist outside classified archives. But as Mara navigates forced camaraderie and escalating anomalies, she realizes this journey isn't about transportation, it's about containment. Ruff masterfully avoids reducing Mara to paranoid victim or the airline to faceless villain. Instead, she crafts a narrative where travel becomes forensic investigation, where consent is renegotiated through micro-boundaries rather than social obligation, and where liberation requires seeing the system's design before it sees you. The audiobook narration amplifies this psychological vertigo, capturing Mara's disciplined composure fracturing into fierce clarity, while secondary voices shift subtly between performative courtesy and hidden agenda, making every interaction feel like both service and surveillance. You don't just hear the tension build, you feel the seismic shift of a mind learning that some seats are assigned not to accommodate but to control. What elevates The Last Seat beyond typical transit thrillers is its nuanced portrayal of institutional power as environmental violence rather than individual malice. Mara isn't merely evading an assassin, she's confronting how bureaucratic systems normalize danger through procedure, challenging the notion that safety is guaranteed by authority. Her relationships evolve through acts of radical reciprocity, sharing silences with fellow passengers whose stillness encodes witness, establishing nonverbal signals that bypass monitor channels, and defending each other's right to question against crews who mistake compliance for order. Supporting characters add vital texture: flight attendants whose efficiency masks complicity, travelers whose exhaustion reflects systemic neglect, even the aircraft itself, rendered as pressurized archive whose recycled air absorbs decades of unspoken coercion. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. In architectures built on compliance, attention is insurgency, and presence is the only reliable exit strategy. Even the thriller mechanics serve thematic depth, with seating charts mirroring social hierarchies and turbulence becoming metaphor for earned autonomy. For audiobook listeners, this production is an immersive sensory descent into controlled panic. The narrator embodies Mara's evolution with remarkable range, from rehearsed professionalism to trembling defiance, while supporting characters are distinguished through vocal textures that honor anonymity without erasing humanity. Sound design enhances claustrophobia without gimmickry. Distant engine hums marking temporal disorientation, rain against fuselage during vulnerable confessions, the hushed click of tray tables sinking with breath during moments of revelation, all anchor existential stakes in tangible reality. Pacing mirrors the rhythm of flight, deliberate during cruising altitude and reflection, then surging with urgency as descent collides with internal awakening. Whether you're commuting through open spaces or sitting in enclosed rooms, the audiobook creates a portable pressure chamber where isolation feels absolute and agency feels lifeline. It's storytelling as embodied reckoning, transforming passive listening into active participation in a journey where freedom isn't found in arrival but in reclamation. Ultimately, The Last Seat redefines the transit thriller by centering female epistemology within carceral frameworks. It satisfies genre cravings for shocking reveals and relentless pacing, while delivering substantive commentary on bureaucratic violence, gendered vulnerability, and the radical act of trusting your perception when systems demand trust in them. No prior series knowledge is needed. It stands confidently as a complete emotional odyssey. If you've ever wondered whether safety can coexist with sovereignty, or if true strength requires breaking the rules that claim to protect you, this audiobook will affirm that sometimes the most powerful act is refusing to stay seated in the story they assigned you. Press play, fasten your belt, and prepare to believe that even in landscapes shaped by containment, minds still find ways to break free. Your next favorite thriller isn't waiting in smooth landings, it's waiting in the brave, trembling choice to claim your own space.